Today, I'm doing something absolutely insane. I'm going to create a character in Jujutsu Kaisen so ridiculously overpowered that calling them strong would be an understatement. This character won't just rival Gojo and Sukuna, they'll make those two look like they're playing in the minor leagues. I'm talking about a being that could take on the entire Jujutsu Kaisen roster simultaneously and still have energy left over for a victory lap. Now, the rules are simple but challenging. I'll pick the best trait from different characters across multiple categories, and to make this interesting, I can only use each character twice maximum. This means if I pick Sukuna's domain expansion and his cursed energy output, that's it. No more Sukuna for other traits. Trust me, with how broken Gojo and Sukuna are, this limitation actually forces me to think strategically instead of just spamming their abilities. So let's jump right in. What's our character going to be at their core? We've got 4 options here: human, cursed spirit, cursed object, or Shikigami. Now, you might think being human has advantages since most of the strongest characters we know are human, but hear me out. We're going cursed spirit all the way, and specifically, we're modeling this after Mahito. Why? Because cursed spirits fundamentally interact with cursed energy differently than humans. They're literally made of the stuff. Their understanding of their own nature is instinctive rather than learned, and more importantly, they regenerate damage like it's breathing. Mahito specifically showed us just how broken a cursed spirit can be when it actually understands its own technique. Plus, being a cursed spirit means our character doesn't have the same limitations on body modifications that humans do. Now that we've established what our character is, let's talk about cursed energy. What good is having insane abilities if you run out of gas halfway through a fight? For cursed energy reserves, we need to go big, real big. Sukuna obviously has the most, but here's the thing. We're saving Sukuna for traits where he's absolutely irreplaceable. So instead, let's look at Hajime Kashimo in his mythical beast Amber form. People sleep on just how much cursed energy this guy actually has. His cursed technique transforms his entire body into a living generator of electromagnetic energy, and he can maintain that form while throwing around lightning bolts that can vaporize special grade curses. The energy output required for his technique is astronomical, and he maintained it against freaking Sukuna. That's the kind of battery we want powering our character. For a reverse curse technique, we need someone who can take unholy amounts of damage and just shake it off. Now, a lot of people would immediately jump to Gojo or Sukuna here, but we're thinking differently. Uraume showed us something special during the Shinjuku showdown. This person took attacks from Hakari repeatedly, got frozen, got burned, kept fighting, and kept regenerating. But more importantly, Uraume demonstrated the ability to use reverse curse technique to maintain their body in perfect condition over 1,000 years. Combined with our cursed spirit nature that already makes regeneration easier, we're looking at near immortality in terms of survivability. Now we get to the fun part, the curse technique. There are so many insane techniques to choose from. You've got Yuki's mass manipulation that can literally create black holes. You've got Mahito's idle transfiguration that can reshape souls. You've got Megumi's 10 shadows with Mahoraga. But you know what? We're going with something that people don't give enough credit to. Kinji Hakari's private pure love train. Wait, hear me out before you call me crazy. Hakari's technique isn't just about the jackpot. It's about the fundamental concept of his ability. His cursed energy operates on a completely different system than normal sorcerers. When he hits the jackpot, his cursed energy doesn't just increase, it becomes functionally infinite with automatic reverse curse technique that makes him unkillable for over 4 minutes. But the real kicker? The technique itself is a domain. His entire fighting style revolves around constantly deploying and maintaining domain expansion, something that should be impossible. Now imagine having that as your base curse technique, but without the gambling aspect being a weakness. We'll address that soon. The ability to have infinite cursed energy and automatic regeneration as your baseline is absolutely broken, especially when we start stacking other traits on top of it. Speaking of domains, let's give our character a domain expansion that complements this perfectly. We're not going for Unlimited Void or Malevolent Shrine, as powerful as those are. No, we're taking Yuki Tsukumo's theoretical domain. Now, I know what you're thinking. We never saw Yuki's domain in the series, but we know she had one. And based on her curse technique of mass manipulation, her domain would theoretically allow her to control the virtual mass of everything within it. Imagine a domain where you can make your punches have the mass of a planet, where you can make your opponent as heavy as a neutron star so they can't move, where you can reduce your own mass to 0 for infinite speed. That's not just a guaranteed hit, that's physics manipulation on a fundamental level. Combine that with Hakari's infinite energy system, and we have a character who can maintain a domain that literally controls mass indefinitely. For physical strength, we need someone who hits like a freight train, made of other freight trains. Maki Zenin post-awakening is our choice here, not because Toji isn't incredible, but because Maki demonstrated something Toji never fully showed us, the complete and total annihilation of an entire clan of sorcerers in minutes. Her heavenly restriction grants her strength that lets her cut through buildings, destroy cursed spirits with her bare hands, and move objects that should be physically impossible to move. She's a walking natural disaster, and that's exactly the kind of raw power we want backing up our curse techniques. Speed is next, and this one's crucial. It doesn't matter how strong you are if you can't land a hit. Naoya Zenin in his cursed spirit form with his evolved projection sorcery takes this category. People focus on Naobito having the technique first, but Naoya as a curse took it to another level. His speed literally works on animation frames. He can move at supersonic speeds by breaking his movement into frames. And as a cursed spirit, he doesn't have the same stamina limitations a human would. He was moving so fast that even Maki, with her superhuman perception, was having trouble tracking him. Durability goes to Hanami hands down. This cursed spirit took a beating from multiple special grade sorcerers and kept going. Hanami tanked Black Flash from Yuji, got hit by Playful Cloud from Todo, took attacks from Gojo himself, and still survived long enough to retreat. The defensive capabilities Hanami displayed, with that armor-like shell and insane regeneration, makes this curse the perfect template for our character's durability. Now let's talk about intelligence. Raw power is great, but you need the brains to use it effectively. For pure tactical genius and planning ability, we're taking Ui Ui. Just kidding. We're obviously going with Kinjaku. This ancient sorcerer has been playing 4D chess for over 1,000 years. Every major event in the series was part of his plan. He manipulated entire societies, predicted the moves of the strongest sorcerers, and had contingencies for his contingencies. His ability to strategize centuries in advance while adapting to unexpected developments in real time makes him the ultimate mastermind. Our character needs that kind of big brain energy to properly utilize all these broken abilities. But intelligence alone isn't enough in a fight. You need battle IQ, that instinctive combat sense that lets you react in milliseconds. For this, we're taking Aoi Todo. I know that might seem like an odd choice when Gojo and Sukuna exist, but think about it. Todo's battle sense is so refined that he can use Boogie Woogie to create combat scenarios that even stronger fighters can't predict. His ability to read his opponent, understand their fighting style instantly, and adapt his strategy mid-combat is phenomenal. He turned Yuji from a decent fighter into someone who could hang with special grades in a single training session. That intuitive understanding of combat flow is exactly what our character needs to make split-second decisions that win fights. Let's give our characters a cursed tool now. There are plenty of options. The Split Soul Katana, the Inverted Spear of Heaven, the Sword of Extermination, but we're going with Playful Cloud. This might seem underwhelming compared to fancy swords of special abilities, but here's the thing. Playful Cloud scales directly with the user's physical strength, and we just gave our character Maki's monstrous strength stat. In the right hands, this 3-section staff becomes an instrument of absolute destruction. It's simple, effective, and scales infinitely with our other abilities. Now, here's where everything comes together with our special ability. We're taking Sukuna's trait of Binding Vows and body hopping, but with a twist. Sukuna showed us that you can take over someone's body and gain access to their inherited technique while keeping your own. So here's what we're doing. Our character takes over the body of Megami Fushiguro. Boom! Now we have the 10 Shadows technique, which means we officially have Mahoraga. But it doesn't stop there. Through Sukuna's demonstrated ability to use Binding Vows creatively, our character can remove the gambling weakness from Hakari's technique. Sukuna showed us that Binding Vows can fundamentally alter how techniques work. He changed his domain's range and targeting. He altered his technique's activation conditions. He even changed the nature of his cursed energy output through clever vow structuring. Our character uses the same principle to bind away the probability aspect of Private Pure Love Train in exchange for slightly reduced but still infinite energy during activation. No more gambling, just guaranteed infinite cursed energy on demand. Now we're taking Gojo Satoru's 6 Eyes, not the limitless technique, just the eyes themselves. Why? Because the 6 Eyes grant perfect cursed energy manipulation, the ability to see cursed energy at an atomic level, and most importantly, they reduce cursed energy consumption to basically zero. Now take our character who already has infinite energy from Hakari's technique and add perfect efficiency from the 6 Eyes. We're talking about someone who can spam domain expansions like they're throwing jabs. They can maintain multiple techniques simultaneously without strain. They can process combat information at a level that makes them essentially untouchable. Let's take a step back and see what we've actually created here. This character is a cursed spirit with Mahito's fundamental body manipulation, Kashimo's massive energy reserves, Uraume's 1,000-year regeneration, Hakari's infinite energy technique modified by Binding Vows to have no weakness, Yuki's theoretical mass manipulation domain, Maki's planet-cracking strength, Naoya's supersonic speed, Hanami's indestructible durability, Kinjaku's millennium of planning, Todo's battle genius, Playful Cloud amplified by planetary mass, Mahoraga through Megami's body, and Gojo's 6 Eyes for perfect efficiency. There's no scenario where this character loses. They're too fast to hit, too durable to damage, too smart to outplay, and they have too many contingencies. Gojo with Infinity? Our character's mass manipulation and domain ignores conventional distance. Sukuna with Malevolent Shrine? The infinite energy means our character can tank it while regenerating faster than the damage accumulates. Mahoraga itself? Our character literally has their own Mahoraga, except they also have a dozen other win conditions. We've created the strongest character in Jujutsu Kaisen, but have you ever wondered what would happen if all the Hashira and Demon Slayer became Upper Moons? Click on this video to find out!